welcome to Waking Up with Combat Tested Gaming. It's me, your host, Cootie Shadow, and co-host, Smank. And
Smack.
that's right, Smankalicious. I gave you a tribute there it was last week, and I wanted to give you, here's the stream link. Last week I gave you the episode. We named it Smankalicious. I don't know if you saw that.
Nice. No, I
Yeah.
did not.
I apologize about the audio. We are actively working, and I think we got it solid. And for everybody that's normally follows us on our Twitch, we apologize that we're not there to hang out with you today. We had a lot of technical difficulties with going to our Twitch, so I apologize for that. However, as you guys know, here we are waking up with Combat Tested Gaming, or with the VFW's Combat Tested Gaming podcast. Just wanted to start it off. We have a few guests, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and hit up our sponsors and our partners.
Partners, our sponsors being PC Race Shop and the VFW Foundation.
That's absolutely correct. It is the VFW
Really?
Foundation. Absolutely, sir. Yes,
Sweet.
sir.
I got it right this time. All right. Our partners are Ranger Up Coffee. They are Cootie Coffee,
Yep.
Helium, Omnic AI, Streamlabs, the G Fuel, and Alexander PCs. Am I missing anybody?
I think you got everybody. Believe it or not. But don't forget to use on
That's
Cootie
sweet.
Coffee if you're ordering, which I will be ordering because it's awesome. Don't forget to use that. What is that? Code word or promo code. That's what I was looking for. Promo code.
Promo
Cootie.
code.
Right, and it'll get you 10% off. And if I'm not mistaken, ain't it free shipping on orders over $20? Definitely.
I think so.
It's delicious. And they, Alan. Let's introduce our guest. We have Alan Perkins, ASP. Many of you know him as a Conrad chaplain, or many of you may have served under him, and it was Supreme Chaplain at the time, past Supreme Chaplain, past Supreme Sky Pilot, meaning that's a cootie term for somebody who prays a lot. As a chaplain, you can understand. And then we also have TJ Booth, the District 4 commander from Texas, the Department of Texas, also a cootie. Then we also have our beloved producer, Mr. Ronnie Steele, aka Mission Commander. And as you all know, they are some pretty big heavy hitters in the VFW, and that's why we gave them their names, so that way many of you guys can reference this and go, oh yeah, y'all remember when we had Mr. TJ on there and he was talking about all the great things that are happening in Texas, or all the great things that are happening in Virginia or North Carolina or Georgia, or maybe also in the Texas area from our Sky Pilot. Anyway, we also will have Hunden, our assistant director from CTG, come in and kind of talk about some of the changes that we might see in the upcoming CTG stuff, and it'll be great. But one of the things that we always start off, and let's jump in with our guests here. I wanted to ask you, because we were speaking of the Cootie Coffee there for a second. They also do tea, don't they, Alan?
They do, and it's very good tea. I order it as regular as I can.
That sounds amazing. I'm excited. I knew that they did say that they were bringing the Cootie Coffee back, but it's good to hear that the tea is also available. Deliciousness. Also can be used the code word Cootie, and will also benefit the Grand of Texas. So the veterans that are in state veterans homes and the veterans who are in VA hospitals, it services them.
True.
Yeah, it's all good there, Mission Commander. But ASP Allen, how was your weekend? What did you get into?
My weekend was typical. We went to a German festival on Saturday specifically to get goodies for the silent auction for the Red and White Gala coming up.
Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun. We got some really neat freebies and a couple items we paid for silent auction items. One of them is a collapsible grill that you can walk off with like a briefcase, and it opens up to be a grill that you can make dinner on. And
really
we
dope.
walked up to that booth and I said, "This is why I'm here. We're raising money for this gala we have coming up and for us auction, and we're looking for auction items. And what kind of a deal can you make?" And he said, "We'll give you 2 of them." So we will have one of, yeah, it is. It's fantastic. We will have one of the grills, and the local Post for its fundraiser coming up the week before the gala will also have one. And that's going to be great. Yesterday, I had a dear friend of mine who is a chaplain at the local VA hospital who preached at my congregation where I worship, and I served as his lector. So we kind of tag teamed out of the VA hospital for the church service yesterday. Wonderful. And then we had a fantastic lunch afterwards. So yeah, mine was a fairly full weekend last weekend.
We'll come
For
back.
those who don't know, what is a lector?
Yeah, what's a lector?
That's the job varies depending on church where you're at, but basically I act kind of like the narrator. I read the readings and the scripture references. I set up the offering. I set up the songs, all of those kinds of things.
Right on.
Oh, okay.
So, is that in a VA hospital?
Where I worship? No. I worship in a church called Tapestry up on the north end of Houston. The VA hospital is in what we call the medical center in downtown Houston.
Okay. That's pretty dope. I was just wondering, I was sitting here thinking, like, veterans, when they tithe, if they're in a VA medical center, where does that money go? Food for thought.
I haven't followed it up, but I believe that there is a fund for the chapel that they don't normally do collections, but if there's donations, they're given to a fund to support the chapel.
Well, if you think about it, right? I mean, I don't want to get too far into religion here, but tithing is a part of Christianity, and that is one of the religions that are followed here. And it's funny that this lines up right here walking into Holy Week. So sorry that we're kind of turning it that way, but it's actually pretty awesome that we're doing this. So yeah, I mean, tithing is a very important part of Christianity because we're instructed to do that in the scripture. So when you tithe 10% of your earnings, so if I'm receiving anything, I understand. We'll let you go last so we can segue into that. TJ Booth, TJ District 4 Commander.
Yep.
What did you do this week?
So this weekend, I was actually invited out by one of the posts in the district to represent them at a Shriners Clay shooting sport tournament. So Saturday and Sunday, I was out shooting sporting clays and a simulated duck blind.
I think I saw tons and tons of pictures of that. That was super cool. And you had your service dog right there with you, right?
Yep, he was out there with me, just pretending like he was going to go out there and fetch a bird, but he never got a bird to go get.
Oh, how many did you shoot out the sky, though?
So we shot, let's see, what was it? Day one, 96 rounds. That was my
That's how
best day of the
many-
first.
That's how many you shot?
No, that's how total you can get is 96 on one round. So in that first round, I shot 81 on Saturday morning. That was my best day, and went downhill from there. Sunday, I shot a 60. So
How's your shoulder? How's your shoulder feel?
oh, my shoulder's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
Man.
shooting a
clays are
12
fun.
gauge. Well, I'm using a 12 gauge TriStar. So it's
Were they using
all right.
a full mechanical where somebody has to go and set the spring?
Oh my God.
No, they've got they're automated. They had everything up, and they.
Oh
But this
man, I've done
Yeah,
that.
this is the first time this is the first time I shot it this way. So what you did is the first person calls pull,
Right.
and that's it. You don't say pull it again the rest of the time you're shooting. So when you shoot, as soon as you pull the trigger and it goes bang, that signals to the guy or the guy or girl pulling the pigeon to launch another one, and your partner is now shooting.
Nice.
You can only load one shell. You only load one shell at a time. So as soon as they shoot, you have to be loaded and ready to back up on target. So you're always constantly moving to putting one in, getting it in the chamber, because if he shoots quick, your bird's flying.
That's
They had 5 stations per. So they had 8 total stations, and in each station they had 5 areas where they're throwing birds out in different directions.
Yeah, but you're limited to how much you can do. You probably did that in less than an hour. How many veterans did y'all push through?
I have no idea how many they did. It wasn't just veterans through there. The veterans that I shot with, we had 4, 8. We had 12 in the group that I was with, but I don't know how many other veterans were out there. This is all fundraising for the Shriners Hospital there in Galveston.
Right. Absolutely. That's pretty dope.
Yep.
Let's see. So that was your whole weekend.
That was my whole weekend down there from.
Shooting and
I left the house at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday. Be there by 7, and
did they feed you good?
yeah. So they had breakfast in the morning. You had either breakfast tacos or pancakes. Then they had barbecue and hamburgers on Saturday, and then Sunday they had breakfast as well, and then hamburgers for lunch.
Man, price of beef's expensive, so they spent some good money on you, didn't
They did, and it was free for everybody that was there working and shooting and everything. So
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Great stuff. Let's go on. Hoondon, if you want. What was your weekend looking like?
I was doing nothing but honeydews. I don't know. For those who don't know, wife just got a new job, so unfortunately it's now out of state. So she's moved up there ahead of me and had a whole bunch of work for me to do.
Is she liking the job?
So far, it's a career path that she wants and she enjoys. So
Adios, amigos. How are you going to be in here for, you staying in North Carolina for the next unforeseeable future, or
oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
you're not following her?
I mean, I'm probably going to move up there, but as far as moving department or anything like that, that's not going to happen for me.
Heck yeah, bro. Awesomeness. And you can remote in to your scratches, just saying. Dope, dope. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So honeydew list, like all the regular stuff that you normally do around the house, but all of her stuff too, huh?
Yeah, pretty much, including it's got a little small apartment. It's a little 2-bedroom apartment that does not have central air, has heating, no air. So I got to put in a window air conditioning unit this weekend while she supervised.
Standing. That's some crazy shit, right?
Isn't that normally how it goes, though?
I
Absolutely.
mean, pretty much.
I mean, they are heavy.
They give you a list and then they just supervise.
Well, when you throw your back out, just reminder that's why.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why she got a young one.
Be a man. Be an old codger.
I saw a meme that said it was that be a man guy, and he said work yourself to death, and then some because it's time and a half. That's funny. So, Smank, how was your weekend, brother?
Well, I played a lot of Baldur's Gate 3.
That's cool. Heck yeah.
I learned you could throw people at people.
We're throwing people now. I saw you had to
Yeah.
reset your game because you lost somebody, but I don't like that guy either. So
I've never liked Asterion. He's always like, I don't know, just something about him rubs me wrong.
he likes to talk too much. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Gale. For those that don't know, the character Gale in Baldur's Gate.
Gale
3.
and Asterion, I could do without them.
I heard you can cut their hand off, and that kind of makes them behave.
I haven't found that option yet.
But
Working on it.
Throwing people at people's an option, huh?
Well, you laying on the ground and I'm sneaking up on you. Yeah, I'm gonna throw you off a building.
I might have to get down on that game. As far as gaming for me, I am learning and teaching 40K with BK and TJ Miniatures, TJ Army, as he's frequently referred to. He has been teaching us as well. I know that there's a few of us that we are learning. We are learning what, yeah. Anyways,
You're getting into painting all the figures and stuff, aren't you?
I am. I'm getting in. I'm doing a lot of painting and gluing and all that great stuff. I was squared away by my seam squirrel on that cool stuff. And yeah. So I'll interrupt myself just a second. Hoondon, just make sure that if you do have to disconnect, you know that we'll invite you back up, but you'll have to. Well, you can invite yourself back up. Come back. Anyways, looking back at my weekend, it was hell, and it's going to go in right into another weekend of hell. As you all know, that my son, he does quarter midget racing, and with that, we had our first regional race. I got to represent CTG pretty good. I got some good pictures, but I had a very crappy service because there were so many people and the service is already spotty. So everybody's trying to connect with all the bull crap, and it doesn't help. It really doesn't help. It's very spotty. You can have like 1 or 2 bars of 5G and like not be able to send anything. It was definitely terrible. But with that, I was able to
crazy
focus a
idea.
lot on the race car. I met 4 new veterans at the regional race, and we were able to hang out with. Gotta meet them. I gotta hang out with them, and I gotta give them cards, and of course the dog tags, like mentioned last week. But we had, I guess, the race. I guess Dale Earnhardt had coined this phrase. Dale Earnhardt Sr., right? You win some, you lose some, you wreck some. That's exactly what happened. We lost some, right? We were set up. The track ended up being about we lost about 40 degrees in weather temperature from the previous day to that next morning. And that is a significant drop when you're already talking cold temperatures already on the track. So we were going into, I remember walking up to the track director, the guy who's in charge of all the maintenance and everything, and I go, "Hey man, so I know that the rule is that we're not allowed to race over 40 degrees. Isn't that correct?" And he said, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Well, it's not going to be over 40 degrees until about 11 o'clock. So when are we going to start racing?" He said, "At 8 o'clock. You're not allowed to practice if it's under 40 degrees because it'll end up breaking the wall if you run into it." My son ended up breaking the wall the week before with one of his cars, like tearing it up, racing. And then the next one, we have, what's his name? Robbie got into started 8th in the second, or the B main. So he's last place. He came in, started pole, ended up last place in the heat. He main started 8th place, finished 3rd. Got to win some. He came in hot on that, passing 5 cars, like coming in like he was digging. He wanted to win. He was attempting to get at it. The car was great. Everything was good. Then the wreck some. He put it in the wall because they got 3 wide on that course, and it is not enough room whatsoever. But we're going into a national race this weekend. It's a national expo at my track. I'll be putting up another CTG table, hoping that I can meet more veterans and tell them about our program and introduce them because it's a great program. With that, Mission Commander. How was your
Hola.
How was your weekend there, Mission Commander?
So I started out with, you're probably getting an echo, aren't you?
No, you're absolutely fine.
Okay. I'm getting an echo. That's what I was thinking you guys were. So
You
I
might be
started out
turned
doing
up.
some, it could be it. I started out doing some fundraiser stuff for the VFW post for the Cootie side. But most of my weekend was spent doing some upgrades for our CTG program. Some of those the stream team has seen. Some of those the stream team has seen. And those upgrades are to make the program better and to help send a consistent message. Some of them are kind of labor intensive, a lot of reading, but I believe it's worthwhile. And if you have suggestions on reducing some of that reading without reducing the overall aspect, I'm all ears for it.
I think if you really think about what you're talking about here, that is what if it's what I have seen, there is no consolidating. Literally every single word that's there. I mean, you might be able to have AI figure it out if there is any type of consolidating using this word instead of these 4, maybe. Yeah. But no, I mean, everything is worth it in what I've seen.
And even when I went through it, when I first set it up, the only spot where I saw where there was overlap, there has to be overlap. And that's the two forms you have to fill out and return, or two forms you have to turn out and because they go to two separate people, so you have to have that information for both of them.
Right on. And I think I've already got my stuff
Some
submitted.
other stuff we're working on. We are working on some stuff for the website, and I don't know if we're ready to put that out to the world yet, what that website is, but we are working on a website for CTG.
Right on.
Thought I had that turned off. That one, once it's up and going, we definitely, it'll be worth the trouble we're going through right now.
Right on.
It'll definitely be another avenue for people to learn about CTG. As we stated last week, and Hoondon probably has a little bit more information on this, but we started a Kick channel.
Right.
Unfortunately, with our streaming problems today, we can't stream to that either.
I can't. So for those that don't know, I'm currently the streamer of the podcast, right? So somebody has to capture the video and audio and export it out, right? And it's me. And all of my accounts that are set up for the multi-streaming through Streamlabs, it says that each one of those is the external accounts like CTG Nationals Twitch, CTG North Carolina's Twitch. These are ones that I am on, and then the CTG Kick. Those three things it's not allowing me to export any information, anything out that way here on the podcast today. So that's why you're seeing it. We're trying something a little different instead of throwing it on a X account that nobody is really looking at. We're going to put it up on the YouTube, kind of make it cool. Hopefully guess what? It's on my YouTube at least. And it's there for you guys, you know, but we'll also be we're recording it. So we'll be sharing it, of course, next week on our regular scheduled release time of 09 Eastern Mondays.
And then the last thing I was working on was those people listening to the podcast after it comes out, this will be too late for you guys, but this Saturday we're doing a gaming tournament at one of our local posts.
Right on.
That a local convention center heard about that, came back and said, hey, can you do a gaming tournament at our convention center? Well, me personally, just to do a gaming convention, you're not going to pull a lot of people in. Or, I'm sorry, a gaming tournament, you're not going to pull a lot of people in. However, we turn it into a gaming expo, convention, whatever you want to call it, you have a chance of pulling more people in, especially in a underserved area for gaming. There are very little gaming conventions in Virginia at all, and there are none in the Hampton Roads area. But Hampton Roads area also has the largest naval base in the world.
That's right.
So I put together a program so when we go talk to the convention center, we can ask them some questions and see if that's a viable option. First off, of course, we have to get the buy-in from the post, the district, national, state, whoever wants to be involved on what kind of level we're going to host that as. But I'm actually hoping to see that it does come to fruition for a couple of years at least. Because once you get past the first couple of years, you have an idea if it's something that's going to continue or not.
Right. And if you have huge support out that first year, you can you can potentially go ahead and expect that you're going to continue to have that support. And if there is nothing like you say, then giving something for people to do, they may not know about it first year, but you'll probably see more on the second. But we're seeing here with Hoondon, instead of him unmuting himself, which we understand that he's got a job and everything that he's doing. But he did take the time to go ahead and type it out. That he says that, hey, send me the information. I'll see if my stepson, if he doesn't have duty, see if he wants to go. Right? He's stationed right there at that base, and yeah, that's actually pretty dope. You know what I mean? Now he can tell his friends about it, you know, and that's what veterans do, and that's what active duty and all the military, we really do a good job at our networking.
For the most part.
For the most
And
part.
I'll go
There's
ahead
still-
and put the
there's-
plug in now
there's-
while I'm talking.
Go ahead.
My pub tent, and this will come out after everybody has a chance to listen to it, on the 11th of April, is doing a casino night. That money from that casino night will go to help support veterans at the local Jones and Cabot Veterans Care Center.
Right on. How many veterans are in that home?
It can house up to 500, I believe, and I believe right now they're somewhere around half full.
You want to know something?
And it's only been open a couple of years, so
That's the size of two two state veterans home facilities in North Carolina. The newest one that they just built in Kernersville, right down the street. They actually, like, no kidding, they actually, I think it's like 128 beds or 120 beds. It's the memory ward is smaller. That's the only reason I say 120. I remember.
Now, I've got a theory behind that. It's wild as shit, but it's a theory that I don't think that most politicians expected us soldiers to live as long as we are.
They did not.
But I'll tell you this, that I do feel like my health is like way worse than my peers. I can agree.
I'll agree with that.
so
I mean, well,
I
I,
am
say
corrected.
peers,
I
and
am
you guys are
corrected.
my peers, and we're all kind of messed up. But I mean, like other people my age. That's what I mean.
Average American
I am
citizens.
corrected. It is a 128 bed facility with single rooms. If they need to, they can double up the rooms to add up to that 500.
Right on. So
That's way better.
that is that's a little bit better than what we have here. And that 128 room, many of those, if that is the case here for this facility, 128, right? I think it might be closer to like 120. But in over half of those rooms, they can only take in single family because of the room size. The other, they can take in where you might have a spouse, right? And I feel like even as it being a brand new facility, you should be anticipating that the spouse would also be with them, because the veteran is the one that's going to have the bad health care. Or not health care, but the bad health. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to stuff like
Yeah.
that. 128 beds though, and you can house up to 500. That sounds amazing. I just know that there are limitations in facilities that are being built. I mean, if you talk about the Fayetteville State Veterans Home, Fayetteville, North Carolina, right outside of Fort Bragg. Yeah, that one. They just built it in 2018, and it's already been shut down for the past 2 or 3 years. Completely shut down because of mold. It's crazy. Like, they didn't do any effort in trying to take care of the facility, I guess. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, sorry to tangent off there.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years old and already having mold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Brand new facility.
That's-
That sounds like a
That's just
problem.
not taking care of it. Yeah.
But you were mentioning some of the streaming platforms that we are currently streaming to. You happen to have the kick as far as the link. You know what I'm saying?
So we are combat testing on all platforms. Yeah, we're combat tested gaming on all platforms. Kick is kick.com
And that's
/combat tested gaming all together.
Yep.
One word. Yep.
So if you're not putting 2 T's in there, you're a problem. There's got to be
Yep.
2 T's together.
Of course, we're on most
Because
of
I
them.
can't
We're on
spell, it
Twitch.
doesn't mean I'm the problem.
That's fair.
And we are on YouTube, although we haven't really done any live streaming on it. We do put some clips and stuff like that on there as well. And we just got access to. We just still need to set it up to start adding where the podcasts are going there as well.
And we're gonna start working on the podcast audio, like we were mentioning prior. We're working on it. We're getting it there. Hopefully, you guys are loving us and sticking with us. We definitely want to make sure that we're killing it. We're going to have some really good guests coming in, and we want to make sure that we're honoring them the way that we can because we're an honorable organization.
And I do have good news that I just reminded myself of. My post was voted the best veteran service organization in my town this past week.
Fantastic.
I know that TJ, you have something that you had mentioned kind of in the early phases, talking about. I think you were responding to Mr. Allen here. You were waiting on someone to say yes, and then you should have a 10 by 20 booth at the department convention, right? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So what I've been working with is Always Give Back Charity. They're another nonprofit that, let's see, make sure I do this correctly. So they are kind of set up the same way we are. Only their mission is putting gaming PCs that aren't just for gaming. They're for anything that they need to put out for disabled veterans, to where they can be part of what we're doing here. So building a community, helping with mental health. They can use it for online courses, for anything that they're looking at doing with peer groups or VA mental health or the telehealth programs, that, ways for them to be able to actually use the computer and whatnot, but also they'll also help them with the technologies, the training and whatnot, I don't know what it's called, just information on how to stream and stuff like that, to where they could actually possibly have that as a source of income as well for veterans and stuff like that.
Right.
So we're District 4, my district, we're teaming up with them to put a booth at our department convention for CTG and with them. And we'll have that's 10 by 20. They'll build 2 computers there. One will be given to a veteran there at the at the department convention. And the other will be one that is sent out to one of the veterans that has applied through their program. So we're going to build 2 computers live stream the whole time we're at the department convention.
Right.
Build 2 computers, and they'll be sent out. On the case of the computer, it's tempered glass. It'll have the Department of Texas VFW CTG logo engraved on that, with Always Gives Back their logo, and of course the Department Convention 2026.
Nice. That's really dope.
So
Now, that's going to go to a veteran who is there?
one will go to a veteran that will be at the convention. The other will come off of a list that Always Gives Back has. They have right now close to 150, 170 people that have applied through their charitable organization for a computer. So they're trying to get that list down and whatnot. So that's one of the things that they have asked, that if we bring them in to do this, if they can build a computer to send out as well. I'm like, of course.
Hey, so I have a question here.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So if I have a PlayStation, say I have a PlayStation 1, is this something that is going to apply to me? Graham? If that's all I have is like the very first PlayStation with like NASCAR 98.
So they don't even ask what you have or don't have. What they're asking for is that when you fill out their application, is that you are not working at the time and you have a disability.
So do you have to be 100%?
They don't ask what your percentage is. They just ask that you have a disability.
And they have
Now,
a gaming community as well.
Yeah, so on the backside of how they determine who gets it or not, that part I don't know. Just that's all they have on their
I think I'd heard
website.
I'd heard Peeps talking before when we had him on that it's a list, but it's like a first come first serve. So
Right.
they have a guy that applied, 18 months ago, and you
She's
just
gonna get one
applied
that-
yesterday. Then the guy who
Yes.
applied 18 months ago is getting his computer.
Correct. Yes.
So where can people go and sign up for this? Do you know if they have? So they got a
So you just-
Discord.
Yes, you can just go to their website, alwaysgiveback.org, and sign up there.
They got everything.
They've got everything on there. It has what their mission is. It even has their transparency report. So if you want to look at their financials, that's there down to the updated all the time.
Now, I'll be honest with you. This is one of the best other nonprofits that I have been able to talk to and interview, and I got nothing but props to give out to Peeps. And he did say that even a VA disability rating of 0% qualifies. So if you have a service connected disability, whether you're being like
all they care about is that you have a
monetarily compensated, your tinnitus that they said you don't have, but if you have it, you have it. I don't know, whatever you twisted your ankle when you were in basic training, and now you got a funny limp when you walk, and you got 0% because it doesn't really affect you. I don't know, whatever you have there, 0% rating even qualifies you because it's considered a disability.
It is.
Service
So that's all they
connected.
care about is that you have a disability rating.
But the big one there too is that you're unemployed, right?
Correct. So, but that doesn't mean you're unemployable. It just means at that time you're unemployed. So, I mean, you could be a student, you're unemployed, you're not working. You're in between jobs. You're transitioning out of the military into the civilian. You don't have a job. You just got laid off. I mean, there's multiple reasons behind not being employed. Or you could be unemployable, not having a job, and needing the support and whatnot.
Right.
So trying to bring them into the fold with us here and getting their exposure out. And of course, them helping us do what we're trying to do as well.
And if I'm not mistaken, Mission Commander keeps popping into the side chat here, but honestly, with Mission Commander, I know that he had mentioned like collaborating with them and potentially even DAV and American Legion Gaming to kind of assist everybody and tickle everybody's back.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a group of like-minded organizations together. So Combat Tested Gaming, American Legion Gaming, the different other service organizations to assist with disabilities, to assist with mental health, to assist with anything. It's coming together on a IT computer consortium per se, I guess, coming together to collaborate to get the help that veterans need.
Right. And I think that's amazing. And I think that when we were talking about collaborating with, I think it was Left Lane Custom Chrome with the iRace, and when we brought Sarge on and we had talked about it, that was the first glimpse, and it initiated some conversations. Also bringing on a disgruntled veteran and having a new focus from our organization isn't necessarily to focus and watch ourselves internally grow as far as bringing in veterans and making them feel like they want to be here, as much
Right.
as it also is like, well, why don't we help each other out in growing, and we can work stronger as a veterans, like-minded veterans group, and
Correct.
be able to collaborate and push through and all that great stuff. I think it's an amazing stuff that we're doing there. And like I said, that left lane,
We're actually going to be doing that.
Go ahead.
I would say we're setting up a gaming collaborative to do something similar between us, DAV, and American Legion Gaming. Hopefully, in the next month, you'll see that. Part of that is to help DAV gamers because right now they're just getting started. There's only 2 people in their program. I mean, there's some folks on the Discord, but there's only 2 people in their program really, so they're starting to get kicked off. So we're trying to help them build up as well.
Yeah, we're going to get them built up. So I have a question, and maybe people who are affiliated with the others, you guys may understand or know. So like the DAV one, right? Do you know if you have to be a member of DAV or a life member or anything like that to participate in the online program? Because I know that with Combat Tested Gaming, you don't even have, even though it's sponsored and it's a national program of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, the VFW, even though it is that, you don't have to be a comrade or even be eligible to be a comrade to benefit from all of our services. Not to throw the, we have to see where the numbers are, but either we're giving out I can tell you this, the 2 people, cause is Raptor comrade eligible? Do you know that? Do you know, Smank, if Raptor is comrade eligible? You're muted.
He is not. He is auxiliary eligible.
All right. And I don't know any of the details on Red, but the 2 of those drivers are in contention. Neither one is, I do know that he is not eligible for the VFW. Red is not eligible for the VFW. However, both of them, veterans, both of them eligible for Combat Tested Gaming. One of them is still active, well, reserve because he's got drill this weekend. Right? But anyway, yeah, way to go. No, but we have all of our freaking, I mean, dude, every single prize, every single gaming opportunity is open to veterans and their loved ones, like 18 years and older. But
like I said,
that's a Discord
DAV only has 2 people right now, so I doubt they have that policy. We can suggest it to them when we talk to them again. As far as ALG, I don't see why they wouldn't, because ALG can really accept any veteran who served right now.
Yeah, but the American Legion can accept every veteran because of the changes in their policies and recruiting that they did.
Well, it's not the change in their policy. It's not the change in their policy. It's the change in the federal policy. So they still have to be a wartime veteran. But the American Legion petitioned Congress, and Congress agreed that since Korea, I believe it was, we've been at consistent war because of the Cold War. So therefore, they can claim that everybody in that time frame is served during a wartime.
I understand now.
We accept Korean War veterans as VFW members.
Yeah, but that's still someone who receives hostile fire pay.
That's correct.
I have received hostile fire pay over in Korea. Like I said, I first earned my eligibility in 05, and I earned my second eligibility in 09.
as far as the team up with CTG and ALG, Hoondon did put in there that we will have an Overwatch team starting on April 1st.
Nice. And that's going to be a team matchup where you guys are going to be collaborating together to form one here, Green. You'll behave yourself. Come on up and chat with us, bro. Come on. And Hoonan did confirm that is correct. Delta, the same thing is open to you too, brother.
Green, as we said earlier, we're having trouble streaming to our platforms right now, so it's here or Shadow's personal page on YouTube.
Right, but this is actually going to post. It's gonna post out at 09 Eastern next Monday, just like always. So it'll be everywhere the podcast can be, and we're kind of talking about CTG and all the great things that CTG is doing, and right now we're talking about the collaboration. But I did want to bring you up because I want to talk about what you did last week and all that great stuff. But if you'll hold tight with that, let's go ahead and continue talking about the ALG, CTG, and potentially DAV, and it's always give back, right? And that's the programs that are always give backs, trying to get all of us to work together, to grow, to help reach more veterans. I mean, it's all about the outreach. It's all about getting to veterans that don't know this place exists, and it's free for veterans. Come on in, guys. This might not be the place for you, but don't delete it. Save it and make it a tool, because you never know when you might need a tool. You have that screwdriver, I'm just saying. But anyway, Green, if you want to go ahead and tell us about what you did there with the 8,000th flight and all that great stuff. Muted if
is it working?
there
we go.
we go, brother. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Green? Oh, by the way, let you guys know who this is. I hope you don't mind the DOS here, but we've actually DOSed everybody today, just because we want people in the VFW to know who we are. So this is Cassidy Voss, at Arizona's Combat Tested Gaming Chairman. He did some great shit this past week.
I'm the Arizona State Gaming Chairman, Cassidy Voss, like Shadow just said. And I went to Chandler, Arizona for the 8,000th flight. I got invited by the director of the VFW programs, Lynn Rolfe. And we gave a check. The VFW, the foundation, donated. Hal was there. He donated $10,000 to Dream Flights. Dream Flights is, they take up World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans that are in, what I saw personally was they were in like nursing homes and stuff. And you sign up in that on their website, and then they take you on a once in a lifetime flight. You know, I went there to Chandler to the big one, as 8,000. There were so many people there. Then they told me about the one in Glendale, at the Glendale Municipal Airport. And I showed up. There's about 7 flights there. And I looked around and I said, there's nobody here representing this great organization, doing great things for all veterans. And I'm glad I was there. I was the only person representing the VFW, but there was nobody else from any other organization. And they asked me my testimony, basically, and then next thing I know, I'm in the plane. So it's
I didn't know that took place.
Yeah, I went on the flight, and
That's so
they got a signed hat, and they gave me a coin, and I thought everybody got a coin, but those are very rare and hard to get. Not everybody gets a coin, but it's a life-changing thing. I came off the flight and I couldn't stop talking for like the whole weekend about it.
That is so
It's a great organization. They run all off of donations, and it's purely their generosity and them giving up their free time to take veterans up in the sky.
That is super cool. So I was joking about you going and getting your flight, but it is so cool. That is so super cool. And if I'm not mistaken, it's coming your way, isn't it, TJ?
Don't know. I'll have to look that up, find out.
I know that they've had them all over, and that's why director Rolf was wanting to go and check all that great stuff out and be there and represent the VFW because past commander in chief Hal Roche, one of my favorite chiefs, always waving, "What's up, Chief?" Shout out to you, Chief. But definitely, here's the website, dreamflights.org, and that should give you guys some stuff there. But Hal Roche and the VFW Foundation, like you said, donated $10,000 to Dream Flights, and it's such a wonderful thing. Yeah, and Mission Commander gets to hang out with him on the reg because, if I'm not mistaken, he's in your pup tent. So, or I know he's in your grand, so you get to hang out with him at least and your department, so like six times a year if he doesn't go to Tomb Trek, which he's always at Tomb Trek. So that's 7 times. Oh yeah, he's at the National Convention, and he likes, so that's 8, 9 times if you go to the Supreme, because he's technically there normally too, because he's been the Supreme Bouncer for the past few years. No on the pup tent, and he's a past Grand Commander. Dude, I'm telling y'all, this guy impresses me. I love Chief Roche. Oh. So going and asking you guys here, we're coming up on our hour mark, just to let you know. So we have a couple things that I wanted to talk about with you guys. I know that we had kind of mentioned some of the important things that are happening as far as like the Major Richard Starr Act and stuff like that the VFW is looking at as far as legislative and stuff like that. There are specifically 27 bills aimed at modernizing VA programs. The biggest one that the VFW is supporting and pushing, as we all know, like I said, is the Major Richard Starr Act, which is it basically would allow medically retired combat injured veterans, Chapter 61 retirees to receive both their full military retirement pay and VA disability compensation without a current offset. So like, and what that is, oh, you have disability. It's you're medically retired, so you get your retirement pay percentage, whatever. I think it's like 60% of whatever your base pay was. That's your retirement, right? And let's say you're 30% disabled. It comes out to like what, $400 maybe, something like that. Then that, whatever your 60% of your base pay, let's say you were getting $2,000, now you're getting $1,400, right? And that's 60%, no, whatever, 12. There you go. Easy math. So you get $1,200. Well, $1,200 a month, the $300 or $400 that the 30% is tax free. Everything else is taxed, just as your normal retirement. You're muted again. Thank.
Currently, it is if you're receiving one, you can't receive the other.
Correct, unless you're 100%, right? If you're rated at a retired, and you receive 100% rating through your disability, flat out, not IU, then I believe you do qualify for your PNT board. But I'm not sure on that specifically. On March 23rd, 2026, the VFW launched a new free online tool at claims.vfw.org. Make it easier for veterans to get accredited assistance filing and appealing VA benefits claims. It streamlines the process so veterans can quickly connect with trained VFW representatives at no cost. And it is designed to speed things up. Look at the VFW trying to make claims easier on veterans.
Yeah, hopefully it's because going through by yourself, it'll screw yourself over.
Which we knew about with what was delivered in March with Commander-in-Chief Carol Whitmore and our delegates that they had lobbied to, with they honor the contract. They did the bonus Army March, and they're getting the VA to expand community care access. We know we're getting that. We know that we're getting stronger veteran suicide prevention measures, which we know that veteran suicide awareness or prevention programs, they they are getting what, $112 million or something like that is up for grants for these organizations. I think it's something like that, 112 million. Better brain health, TBI care and research, protection against claim sharks who exploit veterans, and then more support for the PACT Act and implementation. All of that stuff was but to honor the contract movement and stuff that we had done this year at National. We yesterday we actually have a Vietnam veteran on here, but he's got his headphones off. He's on the phone. But we have a honoring. We had National Vietnam War Veterans Day yesterday. And there were many local events. I know that my old post actually had a nice lunch for the Vietnam veterans. They were treated.
State of Georgia, the Vietnam VFW Riders Group did a ride.
Did Virginia do something? Oh, Alan, we were just talking about how many of the VFWs are celebrating National Vietnam War Veterans Day.
Yes, that was
yesterday.
Yeah. Yes, yesterday, the 29th. That was the day that the treaty was signed, if my memory is correct.
That's awesome. So that's actually
that was just a year or two ago.
That was actually what, 75 or 76?
75.
So that was 51 years ago.
Yeah, see, just 1 or 2 years ago.
Just one or two.
Just one or two.
So we have one that I knew of in Kernersville, nice luncheon that happened at my local post, and you said that the VFW riders for Georgia, they did a thing.
Heck, most of the small posts around here did like a luncheon.
Yeah.
That's what it says. A lot of local posts did something. I mean, it's just like 4th of July. If you're looking for something to do and you're a veteran, I guarantee you walk up to any VFW post, regardless of your eligibility, on 4th of July, and you can get a hot dog.
It's
and veterans.
The VFW has a program we call VPRs, where we take important holidays in the military calendar and in history, and we recognize them each year and try to do it in a public way. And the signing of the Accords is one of those days. So every post in the country is required to do something even if it's just have a briefing about what they are.
Well, that's how you get the public not to forget.
There you go. I have one good friend in another post in my district, and Tom Booth knows who it is. And they have a Chamber of Commerce that's more cooperative than the one I go to. And they allow him to do these VPRs at the chamber every month. So he'll do at least one every month. And he has a slideshow he presents, and it takes 4 or 5 minutes. But it's a way of getting all of those dates out to the public, which I think is fantastic.
I think that's awesome that the VFW kind of implements that. I know that a lot of your VFW posts, it says the National Vietnam War Veterans Day is because on March 29th, 1973, Military Assistance Command Vietnam, MACV, was disbanded and the last U.S. combat troops departed the Republic of Vietnam. So that's what happened.
There you go.
The last
There you go.
troops were leaving Vietnam.
Yes, and that
Ring
was
state.
quite a thing. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to make a bad joke.
That was
Go ahead.
a bad joke for Vietnam veterans.
Well, the
War
wording of
Veterans
the
Day,
wording of
huh?
well, the wording of way you said that means they left a bunch of spies behind.
Oh, yeah, because MACV. So MACV is, like it says, the Military Assistance Command Vietnam. MACV, if I'm not mistaken, is basically essentially like ISAF, right? For Afghanistan.
Yeah, it was the major command in charge of all troops in that area.
But the treaty was actually signed between the Vietnam entities in 75.
Yes, it was South Vietnam, North Vietnam, and us.
Right. He got jokes in the chat. People saying, "Oh, I'm not old enough. I was too little to be drafted at that time." And Mr. Smank goes, "They make small arms." I thought that was
Fortunately,
funny.
I wasn't too little.
Nah, you were a young man though. So,
But they were trying to draft me for the Army, and I got into the Air Force first. So I got to play with airplanes,
Very smart.
which I thoroughly enjoyed.
So actually, I just thought of this. This is giving me something, right? We're all talking about we're combat tested gaming, and we're coming up with things. You guys know what I'm doing with my hobby life, how things are kind of evolving. I'm really getting into this Warhammer stuff, right? And painting and things like that. And we have really mentioned about how it can be therapeutic in a sense, right? For painting, because like we even have a guy who does add his stress. That's only if you suck, TJ. Anyway,
I'm right there with you, TJ.
but no, thinking like if you paint one piece, it might be a lot, whatever. But it's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be this way that you really have to pay attention if you want to be good. You know what I'm saying? You really have to pay attention. And invite Green back up to the stage. But, right, this actually came up and said there's ongoing local work in the local VFW posts like arts and crafts programs for veterans with PTSD. helping homeless or struggling veterans, and then community service. But thinking of like arts and crafts, I think, the wine and pain and all the relax. No, that's not what they're talking about. Like some of that can be, but if you start thinking about like color by number and a lot of the things where you kind of got to think where maybe that's not your thing, right? But the crafting aspect is something that we can implement with combat tested gaming, i.e. painting war pieces or whatever, the paint by numbers, if that's what people like to do. Guys.
Well, the other thing about combat tested gaming that we don't always talk about is the canteens in post serve the purpose of bringing people together, bringing veterans together to talk, and they will share information, share stories with each other they may not share in public, and that becomes healing. And we do some of the same things here in that when everybody is together gaming, you start talking about, well, this happened and this frustrated me and oh, this made me feel better. And so combat tested gaming has that same healing effect that sitting around the canteen drinking whatever you're drinking, Dr. Pepper or Coors or water, because a lot of the people in our canteens now don't drink alcohol. They do drink soft drinks because they don't want to get drunk anymore.
Well, it
So
doesn't.
CTG serves the same purpose as the canteen in that we get together and talk and we share information, and that becomes healing.
Well, I mean, like that was honestly so our morning coffee afternoon chat channel, right? The morning
there you
coffee
go.
afternoon chat channel is basically our virtual canteen. And I used to say it was the inspiration of this podcast, believe it or not, because some of the things that we would talk about in the podcast, it was like things that we would be mentioning in our
Discord.
little Discord, yeah. And it's essentially it's kind of the same thing. But that's why I think it's so cool bringing all of you guys in on the podcast here. So that way that we can kind of showcase that a little bit. Like Green left because his phone was giving him the fits, but he's back now. And Hoondon the same thing. He's working and coming in and out. But yeah, I mean, it's coming into the checking in on the Discord channel is definitely like we are popping into a canteen. Hey, I'm just popping in to say hello. I'm off to go do this today. I don't know how many times I've seen somebody when I was extremely active. My wife was working at the post and things like that as a bartender, and we were in there quite frequently, and we would see these couples that would come through, and that's exactly what they do. They'd stop in and have a soda or a drink or whatever, and it'd be on the way to out to eat or wherever they were going for the evening. And it's very common that people do that check-in, especially when you find your people. That's absolutely true. VFW does a lot for veterans. That is something that we all can agree on. Being able to be a part of this program as state chairman, national chairman, and podcast host, I don't mind working my ass off for this organization because I feel like that channel does so much for PTSD and veterans. That is so powerful. It is amazing. Like we have a guy here. Check this out. I'm going to use your thing here. We got Motor Daddy Baghdaddy. He is a past American Legion commander, past post commander for the VFW, and he is a current VFW post commander. Correct me if I'm wrong if I mess any of this up, and I'll go back and correct it, Motor Daddy, because I'm going to tell your story here in a second. But you are currently an adjutant for the American Legion post. But look in here, right? You said that you told an American Legion and ALG this morning, you told a vet that we have the morning coffee afternoon chat, and that he said that his dad's a Vietnam veteran, and he said that Discord's only for gaming, right? I said, no. Discord helps with PTSD, and we have Vietnam veterans in the morning chat. And he told him that he needed to join one day and let his dad come in and talk and see how it benefits him. I believe that if we can get right here, veterans, stories like this, where we're linking veterans together that we know that can use it, where if you like, I know a veteran right now that could potentially use this program. I haven't talked to the veteran in over a year. I actually personally have never talked to this veteran. I know this veteran through another veteran who I haven't talked to in over a year. And it's because that veteran he's a member of my VFW post, but his father is a Vietnam veteran, and he's a member of the VFW post, but he's not really that active. He doesn't actually leave his house. He is a full-blown recluse. Not to DOS anybody if y'all were to look up my post and stuff, but I'm not going to say his name because of that. But basically, the comrade, he's like, he helped us with the suicide prevention walk, and that was Supreme Strides. It was a national suicide prevention walk for the military order to Cootie that was done during Supreme Team Squirrel Mark Larkin's year in 2023-24. Anyways, it was a walk that we did. It was wonderful. I'm so glad that we were able to participate and have that and see it kick off. I really, 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 really love that with our walk there. We inspired so many others. But the guy came out and he worked his butt off, and he told me that, that's why he wanted, and that's the same thing that I can get behind here, as we understand the need and the struggle is real with this PTSD. I like how you said that, Green. Said that it holds us accountable, right? How's the CTG hold us accountable, Green? You're already unmuted.
Oh, so how it holds you accountable is, let's say, for instance, you come in here like I did, and I was brand new to the VFW and Combat Tested Game program. They'll do an after-action review, essentially. Hey, man, that's not how it goes. Hey, we need you to do this, or they'll school you on some knowledge. They'll show you how to use. I don't. My book is in the garage, but the green book, I forgot what it's called. The bylaw book.
Bylaws and ritual, yeah.
Yes.
They'll show you how to use that. They'll get on your butt, because I haven't been to the VA since 2024, and they got it on my butt, and I recently made all my VA appointments, and I'm 3 months out. Starting therapy for trauma therapy. So this program holds you accountable. It's all about mental health on a virtual level, camaraderie. It's just so much, man. I can't talk about CTG enough. I'd talk about it the whole time, annoy everybody.
Ain't annoying nobody, man. That's what this little thing's about, is us talking about why this program is important,
I wish I would have found this program. I wish I would have found this program years ago. My estranged wife died of a meth overdose in January 2024. Then my kids landed on my lap. In August 2024, my mom passed away due to COVID, and I adopted my niece and nephew. And I was drinking every other day, really, every other day. Raging alcoholic, cussing out my neighbors, just out of control. And I walk into Luke Air Force Base, and the recruiters are over there. They say, hey, I say, well, what's this going to do for me? And they say, well, we'll give you your first membership free. I go to my first post meeting. I'm like, this is it. This ain't going to work. I need more. And then I took it upon myself. I had no idea about this program. and I just Googled VFW Discord. And then bam, I came in August 10th. And then they're like, you're going to be the Arizona State Gaming Chairman. Like, ha, yeah, right. Me? No way. And here I am. And then I just recently joined the Cooties. I got that taken care of. And this is all happening within this combat tested gaming program. It's really camaraderie, but it's also one heck of a recruitment tool. That's about all I could say. Like,
it really is. And you know why I think it's such a recruitment tool? Because it has value. We meet with veterans on the reg in here. Look, there's 7 of us sitting in here that are on the stage. There are 2 in the audience, and I think I saw that we had over 100 downloads just with our last week's episode when I was uploading last week's episode. Yeah, the one that released today. But yeah, what, you got 4 downloads, or are you raising your hand because you want to speak? You're a download. Okay.
no, I want to speak.
Download me.
Oh, go ahead then, bro. I forgot you downloaded something.
I forgot to also mention that my son took his life at 17 2 years ago, and you just come in here, be yourself, and everybody listens and nobody judges you, and you get a bunch of support. Between December and February is my rough time, and I'd be on one, and I come in here, I'd be crying, I'd be all emotional and stuff, and these guys, they whip me right back into shape.
And that's great. I'm glad that we were able to keep you squared away here. Our goal is to make it so that way that we get to see if you say that December through February is your worst, then we want to see you March 1st. We want to make that possible. You know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate goal. We might not be able to make you feel good. We just want to make sure that you stick around, and so that way we, you know what, they say that that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That's what I always hear, and that's what I always think, because that's what the Army drilled in my head. But I mean,
You see Motor Daddy? See what he wrote?
Yeah, he does. They said that they lost a firefighter last week with a 9-year-old daughter to a 12 gauge to himself. It's terrible.
Tragedy.
It
is.
definitely is. Just as Mission Commander has stated, he's a jokester, as you guys can know. April 1st, we don't care, okay? Just on that day, just to be, everybody's chuckling because, you know, you're wrong. Everything's backwards jokes. And anyways, April Fool's Day, right?
April Fool's Day.
That's it.
Look. Speaking of April Fool's Day, take some Brussels sprouts, stick them on a stick, and then dip them into frosting like cake pops, and then serve them to your kids.
Oh, what an idea.
There's more people chuckling to that one, just saying. That's devious.
Hello, I used to be Dad's discount advice. I still have the advice, though.
That's it. That is pretty dope. I like it. All right, y'all. We are getting really close to our wrap-up point. I do want to give a huge thank you to, we have Green from the Arizona. We have Mission Commander, our producer, and he also is the Virginia State Chairman. We also have Hunden. He is the Assistant Director for CTG, the North Carolina Co-Chair, and then we have TJ District 4 Commander, the Texas Chairman, and we have ASP, the Ancient Sky Pilot himself. And good thing we're not streaming, cause god dang, look at Raptor's legs.
You see him?
Yeah, he was standing there for a second. No video today, but no sexy leg pictures. Well, I was giving a thanks to
I can
you
always take a picture
guys.
of it.
It is about an hour and a half. That's what I was getting at. But yeah, I'm North Carolina and Supreme Chair. Then we have Mr. Smank, who is in Georgia, but he is not a. Are you're a co-chair or no? No, you're just in the state hanging out and with us.
Yeah, because I don't elections and all, and I haven't been told that I've been appointed this year, so I'm guessing I'm back to being a normal person.
I know you're cool with that because the whole thing was low stress.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? That's absolutely perfect.
I will continue to
Do-
support CTG in every way possible, though.
That's it, because you see value. Hey, so do you got anything else you want to add before we wrap this Joker up and end it?
Please, for those who do pray, keep your prayers out for our men and women in service. We don't know what's to come, but keep them in your prayers.
Yep.
Amen.
Brain, you got anything? ASP, TJ?
We're good.
Sounds good.
I think
Yeah,
Smack hit it right on the head. I'm not going to add anything to that. That's great.
I got something. If you're a veteran or a VFW member or auxiliary, come on, get into combat testing gaming. What are you waiting for? You know it's free. If you don't, well, I just told you it is free. Get in here.
We need to make him our commercial man.